Good evening, Ranger fans. It has been a crazy few days, to say the least, and I have the unfortunate duty to take some of you to task. What is it you want? In 2020, we lost hockey. It comes back. Yeah, the Rangers didn't do so hot in the bubble, but after that, they end up miraculously with the number one pick. Fantastic, right? Yeah, you found a way to probably complain about that also, but miracle. You go through last season, you wanted Quinn gone. He's gone. We were all upset. We got manhandled in Washington. They literally addressed it. Keep complaining about that. You got a whole new regime, and a whole new direction. And all you do is nitpick every move they make. It's not trust the process for you, it's fuck the process. This is a result of an entitled generation. Younger Ranger fans who want instant results. You don't care about the journey, all about the destination for you. And here we are, a brand new season. New coach, new system, some new guys, some old faces that have been here. 2 games. 2 games. And a lot of you have hit the panic button. Am I crazy? I don't think so. This is next level pessimism. You can talk to my friends. I could be pessimistic, especially during a game. That's one thing. You are raising it to an art form. This fan base, part of it, has a legitimate sickness. You are complainer fans. Stop worrying about all the off-ice stuff. Man, they traded Buchnevich. Buchnevich was a good player. It wasn't Gretzky. Vitaly Kravtsov. Sure, the Rangers aren't blameless in that either, but Kravtsov's a bitch. It's the second time he's done this. And I got news for you. He's not going to turn out to be Gretzky either, wherever he goes. Maybe he'll be a decent player. I know, first-round pick, right? You win some, you lose some. See Hugh Jessamine on that one, if you don't know who he is. If you're too young to remember who Hugh Jessamine is. How about this? Just watch. Enjoy the games. Root for the guys we have out there. We all want the same thing, don't we? We're all on the same team, rooting for the same team. We want to win. The team wants to win. What's the problem? If your life is miserable, let hockey bring you joy. Feed the misery. And to the Ranger fans who are of the same mind as me, thank you. Remain patient. Enjoy the ride this season, because the goals are going to come, and the wins are going to come. And to the complainer fans, I pray you find God, whether it's Jesus or Buddha or the hockey gods themselves, and that they bring you some peace. In 2 games, come down off the ledge. Try and enjoy yourselves. This is the Ranger Things Have Happened podcast. Well, we're live on a Friday night. Beautiful, gorgeous Friday night outside. Can't wait to get out there. On the Ranger Things Have Happened podcast, you are all very lucky that my daughter is sleeping in the room next door. Otherwise, you would have gotten the teacher voice. But I just had to get a few things off my chest as we start the show today. I know Twitter's a cesspool, but man, I thought Met fans were crybabies this year. It's been 2 games. And some fans are just out of their goddamn minds. But this is the Ranger Things Have Happened podcast. Welcome. We are brought to you by Johnny C's Tees. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. Johnny C, a great guy, great product. Whatever you're looking for, custom stitching, screening, he's got you covered. Johnny C's Tees out there in Broad Channel, New York. Welcome to the Ranger Things Have Happened podcast, season 2, episode 2. We'll be joined in just a little bit by Anthony from Forever Blue Shirts. But with you, as always, we have Beano. Beano, how you doing on a Friday?
Great. Nice job, by the way. That was a nice little pep talk.
Yeah. I felt like Greg Gutfeld giving his monologue.
No, it was good. It was it's real. It's realistic. It's good. And yeah, take shots at. I'm not a complainer fan, as you say, but
I really try not to be. You can complain about things. That's your right as a fan. But geez, give it a rest sometimes. I got a gnat in here. AJ, are you with us?
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Can we see you? Or
Yeah, no, I took a weed whacker to my head today, so we'll just leave the camera off.
I feel like now we have to see it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I want to see that.
he's camera shy.
How could you not show us this? Is that a true story?
No. I'm just no camera today. Well, not feeling it.
I'll tell you, it's weird.
My house is the USS
Few
Comfort.
viewers we have, if they can't see you. They want to see. They missed you since last season. They want to see.
You guys are so handsome. You don't need an extra one.
He isn't wrong. And speaking of handsome, the man behind the podcast, Billy Trotter's with us tonight. Bill, how you doing?
Wonderful now that I'm here.
You've always been here. Anyway, as I alluded to in my calm rant, I thought I kept it calm. We're 2 games into the season. Not so great so far, as you all well know. It did not work out well in Washington. And last night started off pretty horrendous before it got better. And then it was very anticlimactic, leaving the Garden. But I was thinking to myself, sitting there, because I was fortunate enough to be at the game, the place was just dead. Because the team was dead. 3 shots in the first period. But boy, they woke up, and they came damn close to making it 3-2 and 4-2. Some post luck that went against us, and some good saves after Hudobin came in and relieved Holtby, and Heiskanen gets the winner, and you go home a little upset. But I like what I saw in that game much better. Adam Fox is a cheat code. The kid is just fantastic and worth every bit of the $10 million plus he's going to get from the Rangers per year. We'll ask Anthony from Flubber Bouchards about that, what he thinks they're going to get, considering what McAvoy got today. But for you, Beano, what has stood out in these first 2 games? I kind of want to gloss over the Washington game as if it didn't happen.
We're not going to talk about the Washington game.
I don't know.
What's
to talk about?
The brightest spot is NHL on TNT. I don't know if you watched that pregame show of the NHL.
I did. I caught some of it.
I don't know. I wish I can give the guy credit on Twitter. I don't know who it was. It was one of the people that we're all friends with, but I've laughed more in the last 10 minutes than the last 15 years on NBC, and it was spot on. I enjoyed it thoroughly for a pregame show. Well, with the exception of Wayne Gretzky, a statue out there and like mumbling along. They kept throwing him everything, trying to get him involved in any kind of conversation. He just muddled along. But, he's the great one. It is what it is. He doesn't have to be good on TV because he is Wayne Gretzky. But
the whole production, when they were talking to him in the second period, when they scored the 2 back-to-back goals and they didn't even acknowledge the goals, it's like what the fuck? Get this guy off the screen, or if you're not going to get him off the screen, at least say something about it. Say, Wayne, what do you think about that goal that just got scored? It's just fucking, it's ridiculous.
I think I put in the group chat, like, is the game even on in the studio? Because he's just like talking. I couldn't even hear or understand what the hell he was saying, and I could see like Kenny Albert just like probably steaming out of the ears, like wants to.
I didn't see any of this. I wasn't really watching the game. We had it like we were playing softball doubleheader, so we had it like on the bench on a speaker. So I was kind of just listening along. So I didn't really get a good. I saw the beginning of it, and then I saw that Charles Barkley was on there. Did that work out well, or was that weird?
I thought that played great.
But it was great when they tried to force him to put on goalie pads, and he was like, "Nah, I don't want to do this." Like it got a little awkward. But I love all things Charles Barkley. The guy is fucking fantastic.
And the line, he takes shot at Gretzky. He goes, they showed Gretzky's like only fight. I forget who it was against. I wish I knew who it was. And Charles Barkley goes, "Did you lose to a guy in perm?" And it was just funny. Like the whole thing. And Paul Bissonnette, he's on another podcast that when I.
Oh, he's good. He's really good.
He's great, and he's on that, and that's definitely a thumbs up because that was a great pregame show. I never liked. Look, I'm gonna look forward to now watching a pregame show. How about that? Also,
I mean the bar wasn't that high because NBC was whatever, and you got Mike Milbury. That's all you need to know. So that's good to know. I was did no one talk about this? I mean, I was at the game last night. We didn't get in there in time for warm-ups, and I saw what they wore during warm-ups. This getup, right, with the blue helmet and the blue socks with the white jersey. No one's talking about it. I think it's fantastic. I think they should do this.
That's the first I'm seeing it.
It's great.
It'd be a nice little alternate.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. I like it.
Like a football team switching up the pants every now and then.
Yeah, that does it for me.
And I saw them wearing that, like skating around. I thought they were going to actually all wear number 7. Like I didn't have it on, like listening to it. I just was like, oh, are they going to all be number 7? Like
like during the game. That seems confusing.
They came out. Oh, but it's with the blue socks and the white shirt. And the blue
I liked it. I like that shit. So yeah, Adam Fox, phenomenal. Shesterkin looked good last night. Georgiev wasn't. I mean, why was he even playing? in Washington. Jesus. What hasn't worked so far for you in these two games? I guess there's a lot to choose from.
Go ahead, AJ. I'll defer to you.
The penalty kill has been fucking atrocious. Both games. I think they're gonna miss Jacques Martin a lot this year.
But how do you not learn over the years, right? Regardless of who's coaching, you got to be careful, especially against the Caps, in taking penalties.
I did the Ryan Lindgren holding penalty when there was already a delayed penalty. I'm not gonna. I don't know if it was intentional. I'm not gonna blame him. I don't know if he was falling and trying to hold himself up. But as soon as he touches the puck, they're blowing the whistle. Why are you even trying to hold the guy up?
Good question, AJ. I don't know.
And they had, I think it was Kako on the penalty kill, which they said they were going to do. And he just, Joe, how was it? I guess whoever it was said it, like, you got to have your stick on the ice on the penalty kill. Like, he has two hands on the stick, waist high. Where's the pass go? Right to Ovechkin, and it's in. It's in the net.
These guys are going to be in new roles. They just need time to be in these roles. I mean, even last night, and the coach said after the game, but you could tell in the building, Lundqvist was a little shaky parts of that game. It's going to happen. People need to just understand. Like, it's okay. It's 2 games. Like, are you worried? Are you?
No, I'm not worried. But we had 1 year lapse of not hearing Lundqvist as a Ranger. So now we're just going to transition to the new Lundqvist. We had the old Lundqvist, a year off, no Lundqvist, and now
if all goes to plan, his name will be right next to Hank's in 15 years from now. If all goes well. But yeah, the penalty kill, the power play also just they got it going a little bit last night. I don't think they scored on it, but they look better.
That last power play in the third period last night, the power play was great. It was just Khudobin was better. He was fantastic. His little 8-minute cameo in the game won the game for Dallas.
And that's going to happen sometimes, especially to the Rangers when
he also
either a goal you never heard of or a cold goalie comes in and just stands on his head.
Oh, I've heard of him. He's on my fantasy team, so it worked out well.
I don't know. I didn't mean him. I mean, you jerk.
Did everyone else know that Braden Holtby was on Dallas? Because I didn't until I saw.
I forgot until the kid next to me started a Holtby chant that the whole place started doing. That was pretty cool.
So Vancouver bought him out, and now he's in Dallas. I guess that what a successful run that was.
He played pretty well last night.
Well, I wish he stayed the game. I think it would have been a different game if he stayed the game.
I mean, anyway, the first period was as bad as it gets last night, as quiet as I've ever heard the Garden, pin drop volume, but then they dominated the rest of that game. They just couldn't get the third goal. So I'm not worried. I don't know why anyone's worried after 2 games. It's nuts. It's all gonna gel. It's all gonna happen. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. I was gonna say, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's going to. It's gonna be fine. Blay will get back in the lineup, and I don't know. Jury's out on this Dryden Hunt, but again, we need time. People need time. These new guys, especially. I think we're ready, Bill, to bring in our guest to talk about all this stuff with him. Runs one of the most popular, if not the most popular, independent site covering the Rangers. Also runs the Daily Goal Horn, which I think covers all teams. But is Anthony ready to join us, Bill? It's a great story.
If he's not ready,
compelling and rich. He's coming in.
I wasn't ready.
No one's ready.
Anthony, we're gonna get you on camera or no? You're gonna just go voice. Oh, there he is.
He's coming.
There he is.
I thought I was on camera. I guess when you switched me over,
we figured out Discord together this morning, Anthony, and here we are finally.
Yes, and we are in accord now. So
that's good.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate you taking the time on a Friday evening. I guess we could just start it off with how do you feel about what has transpired in these first 2 games?
Oh my God, it's awesome. I mean, come on. It's excitement. We all need a little drama. The Rangers provide it. It's fantastic. I'm not gonna panic over 2 games. I thought there's definitely some good signs. I mean, they're a faster, stronger physical team, but they're learning a new system. It's fine. I just think the first game I was really thrown for a loop. I mean, how do you not start Shesterkin? I don't get it. I mean, he's 25 years old, back-to-back games. He can't handle it? Of course he can. It's funny, he was talking to somebody, he was like, who knew Hank in his heyday, and he said, Henrik Lundqvist would not leave. If someone told Henrik Lundqvist he wasn't starting, he would be in the coach's office and be like, not leave until you make me the starter. So Shesterkin better start speaking up.
It shouldn't even come to that. Like, okay, I get it. Maybe later on in the season, you want to play guys in a back-to-back. All right, I can let that slide. The first 2 games of the season, with a goal you just paid, put him in there. Now, I know the Rangers, I mean, they didn't score much in that game, but still, like, come on.
I think at one point it was 3 goals on 12 shots. It was even that many shots. And the game.
And it doesn't help that he looked really good last night. Would have been a different game in Washington, maybe. I don't know. It's frustrating. I agree with you there.
I mean, that's one frustrating move. But the other frustrating move was, you start. Dryden Hunt played a good game. I didn't think he was bad. Tenorti was okay. I didn't think he was great. So why is Nils Lundqvist not starting? Like, if you're going to have a heavy lineup the way you did, and you're not going to go after Tom Wilson, and you're just going to try and play the game, what was the point? Is Ryan Reeves not enough? What do you need Tenorti in there? Because honestly, the Rangers' power play has not looked good. It's moving the puck, right? But you can't pass the puck into the net, guys. You gotta score goals, dirty goals. That's what those are. I mean, Ovechkin got a power play goal off of Mantha's almost face. Like, if Mantha wasn't 6'7", that hits him dead in the face, and we have an incident, right? Just so happens he's really big, and it hits him in the chest. He looked dazed and confused, and there's Ovechkin collecting the puck, and it was an easy goal. So there's certainly things that have just kind of raised my eye. I don't get it. I don't want to start questioning Gallant 2 games in. The lineup last night was superbly better, right? Without a doubt. But now, listen, now we got a challenge. What does he do now? You got Strome out, right? Strome has is COVID protocol related, so he's not going against Montreal. I would hope that McKegg is not going to be in the lineup possibly, or if he is, I mean, I don't get McKegg coming up. Why not bring up Beano? I just let him play. You put him on the third line. Let him center the third line with Gaudreau. Let him be there and move Hedel up. I just don't know. Little things right now off the hop. It's like, I know you want to get off to a start, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, to be honest, I'd love other fans' opinions of what this is without, screaming and pulling your hair out, obviously.
Agreed. There's a lot of that going on, especially on Twitter. People are going nuts. I think I agree with you. I would rather see. I mean, we've been down the Greg McKegg road before. We know what he is. I don't know what Morgan Barron is. It's the 3rd game of the season. Let's get a preview of what he is. Why not? Why not? You got the opportunity. Come up. Maybe he takes advantage of it and he sticks. He never goes back down.
And there's no waiver concerns there, right? And McKegg doesn't have it either because he already cleared waivers once, so you get a certain amount of time before they have to clear waivers again. But I don't know. Little things right now that I'm scratching my head. And maybe, honestly, I think maybe people wouldn't overreact if the whole Kravtsov incident didn't take place.
Oh.
Right? If Kravtsov is actually on the team, on the third line, as we all expected him to be, and again, on the ice, he had his moments where he didn't look engaged, or he was, as some have been saying, he's floating around a little bit. He still has some great offensive talent, and maybe he needs a little bit more coaching, a little bit more maturation. But I look at some of the other players. I mean, why is Gauthier not getting more ice time? If that's the case, if you want somebody who's offensive, a little bit more offensive. He had to get in there because of an injury last night, right? So he wasn't even playing. So I don't know, little things like that are probably already calling into question some things. And I don't think Gallant did himself any favors, right? By, telling little white lies during training camp.
Oh, like the captaincy?
Right. And I think maybe he didn't want one from the beginning. I think Drury wanted one.
He was the one that said it.
Right.
Drew's the
Drury
one that said it.
So let's call it that Drury said it's important to me, but he wants to make sure he gives it. So he did clarify that statement. He did kind of put some parameters around it. It's got to be the right guy. I think the Rangers have plenty of right guys. Maybe they have too many.
How many other teams don't have a captain?
After the Blue Jackets named the captain, after they named Boone Jenner captain, it's 5.
I don't.
By the way,
I don't get it.
The Senators are going to name a captain. They're going to probably name Brady Tkachuk captain or Thomas Chabot captain. I think it's Tkachuk because if it was going to be Chabot, why'd you wait? Right? You signed Tkachuk, so that would be 4 teams. I think the Flames are the other team. I can't off the top of my head rattle off some of the others.
Well, that's why the Flames lost Giordano, right? So he was their guy.
Right. So Giordano's gone. So now the Flames don't have a captain. The Rangers haven't had a captain since I have no idea. I mean,
since McDonough left. So was it 4 years?
Yeah, I know it's since McDonough left, but doesn't it feel longer?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, nobody loved McDonough as captain.
I liked Captain Mac.
Nobody really loved McDonough as captain, especially when the wheels started to fall off the bus on the Rangers. No one was too crazy about McDonough as captain because, I mean, he was named captain after they went to the Stanley Cup final, right?
Yep.
And they had a good run, and then they started to, show their age, and the wear and tear and everything started to fall apart. And a lot of people were criticized. McDonough actually struggled. Besides injuries, which was probably a large part of it, McDonough struggled. McDonough is a fantastic defenseman, and he's in the right place, right? He doesn't have to be the guy in Tampa. Mm-hmm. That's Victor Hedman's job, and he's excelling in his role. So that probably put some Ranger fans off. Just like, listen, one of the greatest Rangers of all time, probably the greatest Ranger. No offense to Rod Gilbert, probably the greatest drafted Ranger of all time. Brian Leetch was not a great captain.
Some guys just don't have that, that it factor. I feel like Kreider has it. I feel like he would have been the choice.
I don't mind Kreider. A lot of from what I had
heard, shake your head, Beano. I'll smack your face.
I thought it was true. I thought it was going to be Kreider too, simply because he's been here the longest. A lot of the young guys look up to him, and he's really good one-on-one with the young guys. But I spoke to a couple of people, and if you've been reading the other guys, the other beat writers, they've all been I couldn't see it, but they all keep saying Trouba. So I was like, man, maybe there's something I'm missing here. And Trouba's probably, besides being somebody that young guys can go to, Keandre Miller has cited him, a couple of times already, right? And being able to adjust to the NHL really quick. He is not just somebody you can go to and somebody you can talk to. He's also vocal in the locker room, which is not something you would think just because he seemed so shy and timid when he first got here, right? And he seemed a little awkward in front of the cameras, but, in front of the cameras and talking to somebody, about what could you do better in the second period? It's the same thing. Pucks in deep, more traffic in front, blah, blah, blah. Same thing.
Yeah, this and that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing.
Knows.
I mean, they don't even try to dress it up. It almost feels like there's a cue card there, and they're just going, yeah, more pucks in front, it's just the same thing over and over. More traffic, more screens. That's why I like a guy like Robin Lehner in Vegas, at any moment could say something, and he's an interesting interview. Patrick Laine in Columbus too. I mean, he's thrown some curveballs at some people during some interviews. So I think that's great. It's a little bit of character.
You want these guys to show some personality because they don't often do it.
Again, if it's not Trouba, if Gallant didn't see Trouba as the captain, then who is it? Is it Zibanejad? You would think, well, Zibanejad signed, right? So there is no question that he's not going anywhere. So you have him for 8 years, name him the captain. But apparently that's not the case. I don't want to burst anybody's bubble, and I'm gonna get flack for this, especially on Twitter, because that's just
Twitter's a cesspool.
Nobody's going to see this. Don't worry about it.
Joe, that's all. That's comforting. So I'll be a little more free. But I love Adam Fox, but he reminds me so much of Leetch that I don't think I want to put the captain on him. He seems like a very quiet, very mild-mannered guy. Maybe I don't know, but even he said, I in some interviews, he's not a rah guy. And I'm sorry, your captain needs to be all of those things.
We don't want to change anything about what he does. Just keep doing what you do.
All right, I give him an A eventually. That's for sure. I definitely could see that. But if I have to look at a captain on this team, I think the person that's going to emerge to be Lafreniere. I think he is the guy. I think he's been a captain. He's been under the scrutiny of the lights in Quebec, where hockey is life and the rest is just details, right? You open up Mass in Quebec with the prayer, and you talk about the Canadians. I've been up there. I know what it's like. It's really a fantastic hockey city. Um, but the truth is, I think he's the man that will eventually grow into the role. And that's why I liked Kreider, because I think Kreider would have at some point graciously given it to him if he was still around.
Okay. All good stuff. I have a question about the site, Anthony, if that's all right. Well, two questions actually. One, Forever Blue Shirts, right? Because the Daily Go On is also you, right?
Yep, that's where I'm a madman, and I decided I'm going to do the entire NHL as well. This started last year, so yes, that's both.
That's part of my question. So, like, how the Forever Blue Shirts? How long has it been around? And considering Twitter, social media is the cesspool that it could be, what is your motivation to keep doing it? And not only that, but start new websites with more teams.
His third question is, are you hiring?
No, not a writer.
I love hockey. I fell in love with the game when I was it wasn't young. I mean, I grew up in Queens. I played stickball, and you played silly games. Whatever. I don't even know if some of the names are appropriate anymore. Can I say asses up? That was another
Yes.
game you could play off the
You can
wall.
say anything you want on this podcast. We don't give a shit.
I still want to be careful.
We're cancel proof.
So again, Forever Blue Shirts. I started back in 2014. I needed to be creative. I needed to do something, and I had seen other people do blogs. I was like, you know what? Let me get my voice out there. It took a while for me to figure out what I really wanted it to be. I became a bit of a Twitter personality for taking on the analytics community. I thought I was having fun. Some people took it way too serious and personal. I didn't realize that.
Get out of town. Ranger fans take things too seriously.
Yeah, but it wasn't even just Ranger fans. I mean, and I'm not against analytics. Sometimes I don't like the way they're used or the way they're displayed. Or sometimes things are thrown at people with no context. It's like, here's a chart. Oh, what am I supposed to make of this?
I don't know what the hell any of these freaking charts mean.
Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of learn it. Listen, all I know is that one of the more, and this is going back, and this is what kind of set me off. One of the predominant analytics guys on Twitter, and he actually was one of the sites too, or doing analysis for a TSN or something like that. I don't know. He did some kind of study, and then walked away with that Phil Kessel was a better player than Alex Ovechkin, and I lost my mind. I said, "Squeeze me, baking powder." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" But the analysis, the analytics said that he was I guess a more productive player, even though I'm like, but Ovechkin has scored X goals. And this is like, well, it's with and without certain players on the ice, and Corsi 4 and I'm like, okay, you lost me.
My whole problem with analytics is you can make a formula to make it say, you can make numbers say anything you want them to say. I can come up with a formula that says Greg McKegg should be an all-star. It's nonsense. They have their place in the grand scheme of things. You can use them in context, but you can't just throw out a chart like you said and say, "Oh, this guy's better than that guy." It's not.
And the analytics community on Twitter, they jump on it, they love it, and they understand it. But then you have average Joe hockey fan, maybe just likes the game, and by the way, there are some great sites that do that kind of heavy analytics in their articles, right? And some people oh, this is amazing, this is fantastic, and I look at it and I go I didn't come here to read a thesis. I didn't. It's, to me, that's kind of when I look at it, I'm like, what do I want to see when I go to a website? And especially if you think about the world today, everyone's on their phone. Some people Twitter's great. I've got a lot of followers, but if I tell you the traffic I get from Twitter to read my articles, minimal. it doesn't even account for 10% of my traffic. And I'm like, and I say to myself, why do you deal with this aggravation? Like I consider that, even though I'm not your traditional journalist, I consider some of the reporting I've done pretty top notch. But I have to deal with, you have no sources, you're a liar. I'm like going, and then you read it in the Post the next day, or you read it, and I'm like going,
Yeah,
all right.
I like when you repost stuff that you talked about that someone else writes, and I'm like, no, you did say that.
Yeah, you know what? And then you get this. Stop patting yourself on the back. And I'm like going, all right, I can't even advocate for myself.
Yeah, do not take a victory lap, even though you've proved us wrong.
We teach our children in school to advocate for themselves, so that to speak up when, if they need help on a test or if they're being mistreated, we tell them to advocate for themselves. I simply say, hey, I reported this, yesterday, and here's my click to my article. And I literally have to deal with, the GIFs, the GIFs of no one cares. It's just,
at least it's funny. I mean, some of them are funny, as annoying as it is.
You do have to laugh a little bit, sure. But like I said, it's a passion. If you have a passion, listen, this is a passion for you guys. You guys are doing it. My man Beano over here has got like a setup and everything. He's got a microphone. He's got something covering it for.
He's in a bathroom.
He could be in a bathroom.
It's a breakfast. It's a breakfast nook.
God.
Hey, it's always nice to have a breakfast nook. Not everyone has one.
He does very well.
God bless. So yeah, I've been doing it for a while. 2014. And then I started this in 2020, the Daily Goal Horn. So it's a lot of work. But if you're passionate about it, it can be really rewarding too. I have had some pretty, I've gotten to speak to some people on NHL teams. I've spoken to some executives. I've spoken to, I made friendships with guys like Nick Kiprios. I did a podcast with him. We reminisced about 94. It was probably my most favorite podcast that I ever did. Talking to a guy that I literally watched, raise the cup. I thought that was awesome. So anyway, it's been a fun journey. It's had some it's had some ups and downs, of course, like anything else. But my recommendation is, if you love something and you have a passion for it, do it. Try and help others. Try and make yourself accessible. Because it's kind to everybody. I think that's important.
A little podcast like this.
Yeah, listen. I mean, he's supposed to be my fans, CFO. So how do I ignore Ricky?
I used to be for 4 days.
It lasted 4 days.
And then
the
COVID
pandemic
happened.
hit.
So it's all Ricky's fault.
Yeah, they keep rooting around Wuhan. They should just come down to Breezy and say, well, that's the source of all our misery.
It's Ricky's fault.
They gave this kid a job and the world went to hell. Speaking of being,
you beat out one of my old writers, Natalina.
Yes, she's been on the podcast too. We've become friends. Twitter friends.
Yeah, she knows her hockey stuff. She's really great.
I think that was the most watched episode we've had so far when Natalina came on.
Yeah.
7 viewers.
7.
75 times.
I'm not talking about live. It's just general viewership. Anyway, if Beano or AJ, if you have a question for Anthony, I'll step out of the way.
I just wanted to ask you because I know you're a little more plugged in than Ricky wishes he was. So
for sure, I'm not plugged in.
Like this stuff with Leah Anderson and now Kraft stuff. Like, were there any indications that they had any of these character flaws before they were drafted, or did this just all start when Leah Anderson threw his medal over the glass at the World Juniors?
I mean, there had to be some inclination that that they had a little immaturity to them. I mean, first off, they're all kids, right? So you kind of hope that they grow out of it, or that they're guided along. And I wouldn't take that unless there was a serious attitude problem. I wouldn't take a little immaturity of a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid and be like, well, we can't draft this kid. I really, really wouldn't do that. But yes, there were certainly signs. But at the end of the day, Elias Anderson, he was good, but his skating was below average, right?
Tripped over that wire on opening night.
I don't think that had anything to do with it. And I don't think I think actually he worked hard. It really didn't pan out for him. And I think he was away from home. I mean, he left Sweden at a young age. They threw him in there. Remember, he was kind of thrown right in there. And then going back and forth between Hartford and this, he had some injuries. He admitted himself that he had some issues, right? And he was depressed. I think he said he was taking sleeping pills to sleep. He was finding himself because he was injured and alone. He was playing games until God knows a time in the morning with friends from Sweden, right? Because of the time difference. So it was rough on him. And then obviously I think he's made the call that I have to go, and he even said I got to take care of my own mental well-being, and he left. He's like, it's time for me to go. This one, a little bit more, is a little different because Kravtsov off the hop left as soon as he didn't make it the first time. Not only did he leave and go to the KHL, everyone needs to remember he got demoted there. They sent him to a lesser league in the KHL, and Gorton had to fly over or take care of it and get him back home, right? Get him back here for development. And then the pandemic hit, which caused all kinds of problems with prospects. And the KHL season started way before the NHL season was going to start. So they made a deal like you just can play the entire season there. And then you come here and he played 20 games. But this last cut, again, I think Molly said it. I had heard too. Conditioning issues. She said that they had conversations about his conditioning before he went over back home. And now he got injured. And apparently, did anyone see what caused the injury? I don't think anyone did. So I think the injury, without being fully confirming, even though it seemed like it was, had something to do with his conditioning. I don't know if it was a groin or something like that. I think I had wrote that a couple of days ago, and I just saw Rick Carpinello wrote something today about the same thing, about conditioning issues. So anyway, the other thing that I had learned is that, and if you'll start connecting the dots, Drury was not a fan of the pick. So he didn't like the pick, and I think Kravtsov was probably aware of it. The only constant here is Drury was in Hartford. He was the GM at the time. So I don't know, right? Maybe they rub each other. Maybe Kravtsov is feeling rubbed the wrong way. I have no idea, except that I know that Drury's wasn't a fan of the pick. And if you need any more, kind of when Drury became GM and president, he basically rearranged the coaching staff, scouting staff, and fired Nick Bobroff, right? And Gordy Clark was demoted. So you can look at it right away. As soon as he came in, he changed the scouting, right? He's changed the scouting department. So, and just look at the type of players he's drafting now. Brendan Otherman. He's drafting a lot of North American kids.
Okay. That's good stuff.
I try. I mean, you have a website for 7 years.
Good question. Good answer.
Better make a couple of connections.
Damn right.
I like it. Connections that Ricky could never have made.
Well,
I don't know.
They don't pay me the big bucks to do that.
I mean, Ricky could put together some songs on the fly. Sure. I mean, he could probably, if I asked him to, he could grab his guitar and sing a Kravtsov song right now. I'm pretty sure he could figure it out.
It's not in tune.
Song already. He wrote that song already.
It's called Kravtsov. Well, I'm writing it right now in my head. All right, Bean, if you don't have a question for Anthony, I have the two standard questions we ask everybody.
Go with it then.
Okay.
He covered enough. He covered enough for me.
Excellent. So
I'm not going to pick his brain anymore.
Here's the first standard. What is the most memorable game you ever attended at MSG?
The most memorable game I ever attended at MSG. Oh, wow. Messier's last game. If I have to kind of just pick a game, Messier's last game.
Okay.
I think he even got an empty netter against the Stars, and then we're walking, waving.
He's probably crying.
Yeah, Kleenex.
He's a crier.
He's a crier.
Messier's a crier.
And before you go, Anthony, this is the Ranger Things. This is the question of questions. Gun to your head, you could have one fast food chain the rest of your life. What is it?
I don't eat fast food.
But if you had to, like, if they
Ooh.
forced you to eat it, what would you like force
All right.
yourself to eat?
Fast food chain, right? So would IHOP count? Because I just
I'll leave that to the judges. AJ, you're the judge on that.
If he's got no other experience in
No,
fast
I-
food,
I-
then I'll allow
I
it.
have I have experience. I was
So does
I
AJ.
used to weigh a lot at one point. So and McDonald's, I mean, I would eat a 20-piece chicken McNugget like it was nobody's business, in my car driving around at work.
Ask me what I had for dinner.
Yeah, man after AJ's
Carotid
diseased
artery.
heart, AJ.
Does IHOP count? Even though I haven't had pancakes in like a year, but does IHOP count?
I'll count
I
it.
think we're counting it.
It is a chain, right?
Production
we're
manager
counting it.
Billy is counting it.
It's counted. That's our first IHOP.
IHOP wins.
Okay, interesting. Well, Anthony, look, we appreciate you taking the time coming on. Really, really good stuff. Forever Blue shirts, and if you want more of that, more of what Anthony just said, read the damn blog. Go to the damn site. Both of them. Forever Blue shirts, Daily Goalhorn, and that's that.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Anthony. We
Yeah,
will.
thanks for coming.
Find him on that cesspool of
Absolutely.
Twitter.
Yeah, we'll see you on Twitter. God bless us all.
God bless us all is right. Have a great show, boys.
Thanks.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you.
I knows his shit.
He does.
What a show.
Awesome. What a show. And AJ, why are you coming after me? I'm not a blogger. I'm not like an insider. I'll kill your entire bloodline and I won't even bat an eye.
He
You're
hasn't been
having
on
a-
since
You're having a
last
little more
season. He's coming out fired.
success than I am, so I got to knock you down a peg.
So
Fair enough.
Ricky, when are we gonna make a website and a blog then?
No.
Okay. No, we're just gonna write songs. Starting with crap sov.
I was gonna be
Shut
mean
up.
and say
I like it.
when
I
you
like
said,
it anyway.
"Oh, my guitar's not in tune," I was gonna say, "Well, neither are you."
Billy,
You
cue
gotta
the
wait.
music.
You have to wait till he gets traded, though.
Check
Do the
my
music.
internet for a second. I've been crushing it here.
Wait, why don't you not check it yet? Ask the first trivia question as soon as Billy plays the music, and then go check it while we answer your question.
Okay, that's a win.
Oh wait, what's going on
but-
here?
Oh my God, Billy, look what I'm holding.
Yeah, I know what you're
It's
holding.
season 2, Billy. Season
So-
2.
Cue the music.
I did, and it's not playing.
Oh, well, trivia. You're up
What the
first.
fuck is going on?
All right. Considered one of the worst trades in recent Montreal Canadian history. The New York Rangers had Scott Gomez and his hefty salary with 5 years remaining, along with Tom Pyatt
Oh, what the fuck?
and Michael Busto, if you remember that name, to Montreal, in exchange for Chris Higgins, Doug Janik, Pavel Valatenko, and a young defenseman named Ryan McDonough. Yeah, we all know that's what it was. What year was that trade made? What year?
Shit.
And I'll be right back.
Yeah, he threw me for a loop because I was like, you can't just say it. It's obviously Ryan McDonough was the answer. What year? They all run together for me.
Yeah.
Like when the hell? Gomez? Remember when Gomez and Drury both signed the same day? We were like ready to lift the cup the following fall.
Yeah, on the
spring.
beach.
Yeah,
We were
that
on the
didn't
beach when we
work
found
too
out.
well. We were right in front of Bobby Willis' house. He's an Islander fan though. Fuck him.
I'm gonna go. I don't have a board, so I'm
Hold
just
on,
gonna say it. But I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, don't say it. Yeah, I'm gonna write something.
You have an
I don't
answer?
know how long it's gonna take him to check his internet. I have an answer, but you don't know the answer, do you,
No, I don't know the answer.
Bill?
No.
Okay, so we got to wait for Beano to fix his internet issues.
AJ, did you like my 30-second music?
We can't hear your music.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
What?
Yeah, we haven't heard. We didn't hear trivia. We didn't hear your music.
Well, no. the
You
trivia,
have some technical glitches.
trivia made sense. Can you hear this?
It's
very,
broken
it's
up.
very grainy, but
Is it polka?
No.
The music of my people?
No.
okay. Anyway, Beano, this is my answer.
Oh, you didn't hear about Beano?
He just walked back. His microphone is shaking. There it is.
Sorry.
AJ, say your answer. AJ, say it.
2011.
Sorry I took so long. I had to sing Happy Birthday song twice while I was washing my hands.
What year was it?
It's only once.
2009 is the correct year. 2009.
AJ, suck on that one.
All right. Let's spot your lead.
You can go next.
All
Not
right,
your
so
Different whiteboard.
All right. The other day, the Seattle Kraken scored their first goal in franchise history, but it was also scored in Las Vegas. Who scored the Rangers' first regular season goal in Las Vegas?
Oh, it's a great question. First regular season goal in Vegas. He's still on the team?
Still on the team. Which narrows it down a lot.
I'm ready. Flip him when you're ready, Bean.
It is Mika Zibanejad.
I was gonna write Mika too.
Baby.
I was gonna write it, but I wanted to go off the beaten path a little bit.
He scored the first goal in that game, and then they went on to lose 2-1.
Give us Cobb's question, Bill.
He didn't give it to me.
What?
Okay, from beyond the grave. I'll give my question. Could be a softball question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Who drafted Adam Fox?
30 seconds.
Which team drafted Adam Fox?
I'll say it before Beano flips.
He was so good last night. I had to do a Fox trivia question.
Team or what man?
What team?
I want extra points for both.
No.
I'm ready, AJ. Go ahead.
Calgary.
It was the Calgary Flames, yes.
It was GM Darryl Sutter.
Okay.
I want Billy, mark it down.
Congratulations. And the music probably won't work, but it's time for Beano's little shtick.
Hang on, it
Right.
will work.
We got softball to play tonight.
We got softball to play.
Wait, nope, it will work if I'm not an idiot.
Oh. You don't know that's not going to happen.
Wow.
Who am I? Who am I? Let's go for it.
Thank you, Billy.
You're welcome.
All right, bear with me. Originally drafted second overall in the 1971 draft by the Detroit Red Wings. This French Canadian is currently number 6 all time in points in NHL history with 1,771. Playing the bulk of his career in LA after his couple of years in Detroit, he finished his career with the New York Rangers. This future Hall of Famer set a record while playing with the Rangers. It's the most 20-plus goal games to start his career. He had 17 straight years scoring 20-plus goals.
20.
That record still stands today, but it's tied with Jaromir Jagr, Mike Gartner, and Matt Sundin.
Oh my God, get to the question already.
Only played 67 games with the Blue Shirts. 41 of his 731 goals were with the Rangers. The other night, Alexander Ovechkin tied him and passed him with 731 and 732. Who am I?
Ricky looks like he's done.
Still scribbling. Trying to spell it.
Marcel Dion.
It's Marcel Dion. Wait a minute. Bill, why middle finger?
Why not?
I just noticed.
This is all relevant. It happened the other night. You used to play for the Rangers. This is all relevant stuff here.
Marcel Dion.
Had no idea he ever played for the Rangers.
He did.
I'll be playing with your mama tonight. Okay.
Sam Rosen talks about him all the time. He was the greatest thing ever.
Okay. Let's take a quick look ahead to Saturday, tomorrow, the Rangers' next game in Montreal. Montreal is coming off a loss to the Buffalo Sabres, so how much will they beat the Rangers by?
1,000.
I wrote something. I said shutout, actually. I think I said a 3-0 shutout, to be exact.
Rangers win.
No. Montreal.
Oh. Shesterkin plays, the Rangers win. The top 6 will play like the top 6, and they will score a power play goal. That's my hot take.
That's a take
They win, and they score a power play goal. Anyone else?
I was trying to read. I wrote pretty much the same thing. They're gonna get
Hot take?
jokingly, they're gonna get shut out, but they have to start Igor, stay out of the penalty box. I don't know what the hell's going on. Even the power play.
That'd be nice.
You don't get in the penalty box. You win a damn game. Someone's got to win. Someone has to win on Saturday. It's probably going to be Montreal.
Ryan Reeves will throw some fists.
I'd like to see it.
It's going to happen.
I'd like to see it. Well, either way, we know whatever happens, we'll be talking about it next week. And whatever happens, people on Twitter will absolutely flip the fuck out. for really no reason because it's still only 3 games, even if they do lose. But they're going to win, and they're going to score a power play goal, and Shesterkin's going to get the win. Is Gordon Ramsay in the house?
Any last words, you f***ing donkeys?
How come that sound effect plays so clearly and the other ones don't, Bill? You
I
got to
don't
work on this shit.
Well, maybe if you wrote some 30-second music for me instead of me having to definitely not. steal
Okay,
some-
you're right. The punishment fits the crime, and I'll do it. Beano, any last words?
Tell him.
Any last
Me?
words? Yeah, sure.
I had something, I just lost it. Go ahead, AJ. Give me a second.
No, I have no last words. I'm gonna go take care of a sick child.
Okay.
Oh, get well soon, Allie.
But my house is a fucking infirmary. This is the 3rd week in a row. This is what happens when the kids have been home for 2 years, and now they're all back in the building at the same time. This shit goes around.
Thought you had no last words, but okay.
They have to wash their hands and sing happy birthday 2 times. That keeps the germs away.
He had to teach him happy birthday first.
I still love Rangers Twitter. It's fantastic. It makes me laugh every night, win or lose, by the way. So I don't hate Twitter. I still have a good time on Twitter. There are horrible people, but there's also really awesome people, especially friends of the program of this or hysterical.
Can you post the gif of Julia Stiles from 10 Things I Hate About You? I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
I could do that tonight.
That's you, the Rangers Twitter right now. For me, my last words, it was wonderful to be back in the building last night after 586 days without being at a Ranger game at the Garden. It wasn't the result we wanted, but it was just nice to be home. And also, this coming Sunday, October 17th, I want to wish a happy 1-year anniversary to my wife, Kelly. Been a heck of a year. I'm looking forward to a lot more. If they're all like the first year, it's going to be very goddamn interesting. And I love you, and happy anniversary.
Nobody can believe she stayed the whole year.
Season 2, Episode 2 of the Ranger Things Have Happened podcast. A huge thanks to Anthony from Forever Blue Shirts. If you're watching us, you've probably already heard of him. But if you haven't, check out Forever Blue Shirts. Check out the Daily Goalhorn on Twitter. And to just echo Beano's sentiment, I love Rangers Twitter also, but goddamn, are you frustrating to be on sometimes. And we'll be back next week, hopefully with some positive things to talk about after some positive Ranger things happen, starting with a win in Montreal on Saturday, tomorrow. Enjoy your weekends, fellas. Let's go Rangers. Billy, thank you for all you do. But get better.